Hey guys, it is Mel from Mel Ryan 100% You, and I am just starting to do monthly updates. Why am I doing that? I think there's a big picture of a lot of changes, particularly with the world that is going on, and that is so reflective in ourselves. And so anything that can give us a little insight into supporting ourselves better or getting through situations better, I think is well worth visiting. And so if this video finds you and it's something that you resonate with, then it's amazing because it's one way more that you can get through life, supporting yourself and it feeling a little bit easier for you to get through. I do lots of little analogies about things which I think help and make it much easier for us to understand why we get so stuck. And so, of course, I will keep doing all that. There's two things I really want to talk about this month. One is talking about holidays. So I'm in Melbourne and a lot of people go away in July and they go to Europe where it's warm because it's quite freezing here. Although I say that and today's beautiful sunny day. It is only 14 degrees though. So I'm a little bit rugged up, but it's nice to be outside in fresh air. But that we said it was 6 degrees the other day at 11:30 in the morning. So that was definitely cold and not an outside day. So I want to talk about holidays because we love a holiday. All of us love a holiday. And we bust our butts all year just working through, exhausting ourselves until we get to the point that we get to have a holiday. It's like if you're a teacher and you're trying to get to the end of term, you're stumbling over ourselves. We're trying to push that sick day out. When we're in work and we're trying to get a holiday, we're smashing everything out before we go. And so all of these things, what we're really doing is we're trying to alleviate ourselves from responsibility, which is, you think about it, that's what a holiday is. We get on a plane or we even get in a car, we drive, we go somewhere, but all of the responsibilities of the emails and the work and the people that we look after and all the things we need to do, literally, if you imagine it's like a little backpack we have of these responsibilities, we put them down and we leave it wherever we can, probably at the front door, and go. And we just can breathe and we're free and we don't have to think about things. We can choose what we do in that day. We don't have to think about what's for dinner because we might be going to a restaurant. What we're doing on a holiday is we are alleviating ourselves of feeling and being responsible for so many things, which is why it feels so good. But for a lot of people that I've been working with, it's not long enough. Of course, it's not long enough. And so what happens is you might get to halfway through your holiday and then it creeps back in, or halfway through school holidays or wherever you are. And you know that you're going back to work on Monday or Tuesday or whatever. And that thought of, should I check my email list? I should do this. I need to set this up. I have to get things organized. I need to be in routine. I have to do it better than I did last time. Even though we're on holiday and we've let go of responsibility, they start creeping back in, and they start creeping back in even before we've gone back to work. And as I'm saying this, you can feel it, like you know that. The other thing that we do is we get sick. So because we've been so exhausted doing everything and we're stumbling to get over that finish line, which is the last day of work before we go on holidays, our whole nervous system and our whole immune system has just been holding on as much as we have. So you get to day one of your holiday and then there it is. You're like, oh my God, I have a sore throat. It's like your whole body is now going to let everything fall apart. And so instead of having an amazing holiday and being able to relax and do all the things that we like, what we do is we get sick and coughing our heads off and, in bed for 3 days. And it's not nearly as enjoyable as what it could be. And so this is how we've set life up. And this is how we do life. Imagine if you could be on holidays every single day, which is so not realistic because we have bills to pay and we do have responsibilities and, things to do and all of that. People to take care of, things to meet, deadlines to have. But what we do is when we pick it back up, we put it in our body in a way that it's so detrimental to us. And then we fight and fight and fight and fight to get through the next period of time to get to the next holiday. Now, some people have more than one holiday a year. Some people don't have a holiday a year at all. They rely on public holidays, to be that time off, or even a sick day, which, we don't want to be using them for that. So how can we reframe it? And this is the beautiful part of that. When you think about it, the holiday feeling isn't actually about the holiday. It's about not being responsible. So how can we get rid of the things that we're not responsible for? Or how can we change the mindset of the things that we are responsible for? And that's a tricky question because there are things that we have to get done. But it's looking at them in a whole new light that for me, we almost time them. So instead of having them all in the backpack at the same time, it's going, hey, this is the after work time. So I now juggle with the family, or I juggle my study, or I juggle the people that I'm going to see, or my gym, or whatever my plan is for afterwards. But it's really compartmentalizing time a little bit. So we're only dealing with what we have to do in that present time. That's one way. Another beautiful way is, what is the things that give you a holiday feeling? Because that's such a beautiful, real way to bring things into our day that absolutely lightens the load. Because responsibility, remember, it feels like such a weight for us. And so, we look forward to things. That looking forward to things, that's absolutely part of that holiday feeling. So what can we do? How do we do that? It can be as simple as setting up different check-in points during your week, where you can look at, your smoothie bowl, or you look at, Wednesday is takeaway night, or Tuesday I read my book. For some people, the holiday feeling can be lighting a fire. And so it's like you pick the night of the week that you can do the fire. And it's interesting because, we set ourselves up now for the weekend, not just during the week, because we have to go to work. It's a work day. So we limit our time and we feel limited in the time that we have. If you think about the amount of time that we spend on social media, or that we spend watching TV, we're really trying to still get the holiday feeling by doing that, because it's alleviating us from responsibility. So you race home from work and you quickly eat something so you can sit on the couch. Or you can watch your particular shows that you like, or you doom scroll through your phone looking for things. Even again, we're still doing it without being responsible. So the beauty of that is, how can we reframe that again for us to make it a great experience? When you're on holidays, you really don't watch much TV. You have that. And here's the thing, you have the energy. Say if I sent you to Europe this week, then you would get up, because you'd get up early. You would, maybe go for a little stroll, get a coffee, have a walk around, decide what you're doing for the day, do touristy things all day, probably come back, have a shower, get changed, go out for a beautiful dinner, chat with some local people, all of that, come home by 10 o'clock, go to bed, and then sleep, wake up, do it all again tomorrow. We didn't turn the TV on. We don't escape in all of those ways. If you think about that, every single minute is filled with doing something that feels good, that you're not responsible for. So if you have a look at that, and we could give up even one night of TV, or one night of scrolling, or all of that, we're gaining hours back. Those hours are things that we can do that bring in the holiday feeling. And it's having a look at what is on your list that feels like that for you. For so many of us, being tired is a state of mind. And I think it's because the responsibility is attached from that. So we're more tired before a holiday than we are on a holiday. And so it's really checking into that to go, I need to do some things different that make me enjoy life. So I'm not just spending the joy in my life in 2 weeks a year, or 4 weeks a year, or on weekends, that I can actually bring a little bit more of that into my 7 days a week. So in truth, holidays are a feeling. They're met with trying new things. They're met with adventure. They're met with meeting new people, seeing different perspectives, being adventuresome, having fun, laughing, doing things we wouldn't do, giving ourselves permission to really explore and live. And this is something that we can actually make a difference of in our life now. So exhaustion is real. It's a really big part of life at the moment. But I think the exhaustion is also coming from the fact that we have gained more and more responsibility as the years have gone on. The older we are, the more responsibility we have. The more people in our life, the more responsible we are. The more money we earn, the more responsible we are in our jobs and everything else. So you add a job to a family, to extended family, to parents, to kids, to it just keeps going. Friends, it's you can imagine if you put all of the people and things that you do as little figures and you had to pick them up, and each one of them represented a brick. Can you imagine how many bricks that we have in our backpack that we carry around on a daily basis? Huge. The other thing, and totally differently, that I wanted to talk about this month is squeeze and pop. By what do I mean by that? Let's come back to that feeling of being done, done, overwhelmed. There's too much to do in a day that I can possibly do, that I've got to the point where so much is going on. It's the squeeze. I'm being like buried under all of this stuff. So many people are there right now. And we get to the point that we used to think we can do more and more and more and take on more and more and more. But a lot of us are now at the point where we go, I just can't do this. That line, I can't do it anymore, is a line I hear a lot. And that's big when people are saying that, because it's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, we've got to that I can't do it anymore place. When we again extend that into what is going on in the world, we feel like we're fighting a losing battle in so many ways. It's like when we look at crime, when we look at what's going on in our communities, when we look at what's going on finance-wise in our governments and everything else, we feel like we're fighting a losing battle. And the voice that we've tried to have in voting and everything else often feels overwhelmingly not heard. And so as a community, that whole community feel is a very defeated feel at the moment. And so we're also not just having that from ourselves, but we're getting that collectively. And so feeling like we can thrive in that situation is really difficult. There's a real hopelessness to people and a real, I'm stuck in a situation I can't change, but I also don't have any idea how I possibly could change that. And so that leads to a really trapped and powerless feeling. And trapped and powerless, of course, is never a safe place for any of us to be. So what can we do about that? Well, the squeeze and pop, this is when we pop. And the popping is making us really have to come back to ourselves. While we can't do things in the big picture differently, even if we vote differently or what we talk about, the impact it has, it's probably still years away before that is seen. And so we still have to get through, and that feeling of getting through for so many people already feels exhausting. When housing is at where it's at, all of it. And so the popping is in coming back to us, and that it's what can we do in our little world that is going to make us enjoy our life more. It's the changing something changes something. And so if we can't change this, the big picture things, even though we can slowly make a headway into that, because the change could be years away, we come back to us going, what can I change in my day today that is going to give me a better day, that's going to give me a better connection, that's going to give me a better result in how I feel at the end of my day. So even when we look at work, it's being able to boundary what we do. It's being able to have our voice back to choose what we give instead of just giving and giving until we're exhausted. It's being able to form teams where we work together so we can tag out if we need to tag out and support when we need to support. So the beauty of the big picture of things not working for us now is that we're slowly coming back into ourselves, our little families, our little communities, our friends, the smaller groups. And in that small space, this is where we can make the biggest difference. It's like you can be kind in this space. Choosing to be kind is enormous. Choosing to look after your neighbor, choosing to look after that one person that you're sitting next to, or someone else that you know that could need a hand with something. It's really bringing that community back. And I think that's something that if we focus on that rather than how much of a shit show this all is, and we come back to focusing on the tiny little ways that we can make a difference in the world that we live in the little world that we live in, whether it be our family, friends, local community, it means that we are now collectively putting good back into the world. And if you think about that, the more we all do that, that's huge, because there is a collective consciousness. And that's something that's worth talking about, because at the moment, without realizing, a lot of us are putting fear and adversity and controversy in it. And we were taught, particularly over COVID, to make a divide between people. And so it really blew up our communities. COVID blew up our families. And so it's our job to be able to turn that around and bring back that connection, because in changing that consciousness, we now start to pull good together. We start to put kindness and love and caring and being there for someone else back into the world. And it's certainly by no means am I saying abandon yourself and look after others. It's never part of my stories. It's make sure that you know you understand you look after you can ask for help, you understand you so much that it actually takes the responsibility of other people having to save you or fix you, which is such a beautiful part of what I teach. If we could all stand together knowing who we are, we make the world a better place. And so again, when we've got us, if I've got me and I am looking after me at the best I absolutely can, and I'm doing a really good job of it, I've got more to give. And so then I do have more to give to my family or the people that I care about, or my local community, or my local footy or gym or whatever it is that we go to. And it's so collectively us looking at how we can make a difference, because we can't make a difference at the moment in the big giant picture, but we can make a really big difference if we start to plant the seeds and do the work and spread the love in the little picture. And so that is my beautiful message. That's my other part to this message. It's like when we pop, we're popping from being part of this and that big giant world in the way that it is in so much unrest at the moment. And then we come back to ourselves. And when we come back to ourselves, our step forward from after we have spent time with ourselves and moved us from exhausted to being, tucked in and self-loved and looked after, we then have something to give back. But it's certainly not in this space at the moment. It's giving back in our little pockets, in our little communities. And so that's my beautiful message that is coming up this month. So play with it, give it a go, tuck yourself in, like really, we've got the news and all that, listen to it, but step out of it, come back into what is the difference that I can make, the little tiny difference that I can make in my life today that is going to make my life better. And then what can I do to be kind that is also going to make someone else's life better? So it's a win-win in all of those ways. So that's my beautiful update for July for everyone, which is really about eliminating the exhaustion, which is one, by giving us a holiday feeling in everything that we're doing, and two, by moving that collective all the way back into our little communities and ourselves, and changing our collective consciousness from the inside out. So instead of waiting for the consciousness to change and it affects us, we start changing how we do things and we spread it out this way. So little things are going to make a difference, and that's such a beautiful message for everyone. I am Mel from Mel Ryan 100% You. I have lots of beautiful workshops and podcasts and things that you can listen to. This kind of stuff resonates with you, reach out, give me a DM. I would love to help you unpack your story. That's one of the specialties that I do. Otherwise, I wish you all a beautiful month, and I'll see you all next month.